Hello everyone, in this video let us solve this question. So we have 4 raised to power n plus 3 raised to power n is equal to 91, and here we to solve for the value of n. So to solve this, solution, so we have 4 raised to power n plus 3 raised to power n is equal to 91. Now we can write this and this as in brackets 4 raised to power n all raised to power 1, then plus in bracket 3 raised to power n all raised to power 1, and this equals 91. So the power of 1 right here will not change this equation. Okay, so with this we can express 1 can be written as 1 over 3 times 3. So power 1 right here and here will be replaced by 1 over 3 times 3. So this equation then becomes in brackets 4 raised to power n, then all raised to power 1 over 3 times 3, then plus in brackets 3 raised to power n, all raised to power 1 over 3 times 3, and this equals 91. So from this, following this rule of indices, that if you have in brackets a raised to power b all raised to power c, this equals a raised to power b times c. So applying this rule right here and here also, what we have is this, that power n will multiply 1 over 3 and power n will multiply 1 over 3. So this becomes in brackets 4 raised to power n over 3, then all raised to power 3 plus in brackets 3 raised to power n over 3, then all raised to power 3, and this equals 91. So at this junction, we are going to say let 4 raised to power n over 3 equal x, and also let 3 raised to power n over 3 equals y. Okay, so that means that this equation then becomes this is x raised to power 3 plus this is y raised to power 3, and this equals 91. So from here, x cubed plus y cubed, the value is equal to in bracket x plus y multiplied by x squared minus xy plus y squared, and this equals 91. So looking at 91 right here, okay, 91, the factors of 91, we have the various factors as 1 times 19, we have 7 times 13, we have 13 times 7, and we have 91 times 1. So these are the factors of 91. But looking at this equation, right, this right here, this is smaller than this right here. So this means that we cannot work with this. So this is cancelled out because 13 is bigger, okay, in this case, and also we can't work with this because 91 is bigger. So this means that we're working with this first case and the second one. Okay, so let's start with the first case. For case 1, that this equation then becomes, we have in bracket x plus y, then multiplied by x squared minus xy plus y squared, and this equals 91 becomes 1 times 91. So from this, right, we can equate this such that we have x plus y is equal to 1, and we have x squared minus xy plus y squared, this equals 91. So from this, if we square this equation, we're going to have in bracket x plus y all squared equals 1 squared, and x plus y squared is simply x squared plus 2xy plus y squared, and this equals 1 squared is 1. So we are then going to subtract this equation from this. So we have minus this equation, which is simply x squared plus 2xy plus y squared is equal to 1. So subtracting these two equations, we have the value as this. So x squared minus x squared will cancel, then plus y squared minus plus y square will cancel. Then minus xy minus plus 2xy, that is minus 3xy equals 91 minus 1. The value is 90. Okay, so with this, if we then divide both sides by minus 3, we have the value of xy to equal 90 over minus 3. The value is minus 30. And by the way, bear in mind that the value of x and y should be greater than 0, greater than 0. Now looking at this right here, the product of two positive values cannot give us a negative answer. So this means that we cannot work with this right here, okay? So definitely for case 1, we cannot work with case 1. We are going to work with case 2. So for case 2, that we have 7 times 13 to replace 91. So this then becomes, we have this as in bracket x plus y multiplied by x squared minus xy plus y squared. And for case 2, the case 2 value is simply 7 times 13 to replace 91. So this equals, it equals 7 times 13. And from this, equating them, we have x plus y equals 7, and we have x squared minus xy plus y squared. This equals 13. So if we square this equation, we have in brackets x plus y all squared equals 7 squared. X plus y squared is simply x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. This equals 7 squared is 49. And from here, if we subtract this equation from this right here, we have this minus this equation is simply x squared plus 2xy plus y squared equals 49. And subtracting these two values, what we have is this, that x squared minus x squared is 0, so it will cancel out. Then minus xy minus plus 2xy, the value is minus 3xy. Y squared minus plus y squared will cancel out, and this equals 13 minus 49. The value is minus 36. So with this, if we divide both sides by minus 3, this cancels this. We have the value of xy to equal minus 36 over minus 3. The value is 12. So we have the value of xy to equal 12. But then recall that from here, that x plus y is equal to 7, this right here. So writing this down, that we have x plus y to equal 7. So solve for y equals 7 minus x. We are then going to input the value of y as this into this equation, such that we have this as x into bracket y is 7 minus x, and this equals 12. X times 7, 7x, x times minus x squared, this equals 12. So we then rearrange this equation, and this becomes x squared minus 7x plus 12, and this equals 0. So we are going to solve this quadratic equation making use of the factorization method. So we have x squared, then we can write minus 7x as minus 3x minus 4x, then plus 12. This equals 0. From this, factorize out x from here, x into bracket x minus 3, and also factorize out minus 4 from here, minus 4 into bracket x minus 3, and this equals 0. So looking at this, we have a common factor, x minus 3, x minus 3. Pick one, x minus 3. Then we have x and minus 4, x minus 4, and this equals 0. So from here, we have x minus 3 equals 0, or we have x minus 4 equals 0. From here, if you bring minus 3 over to this side, we have the value of x to equal plus 3, or from this, bring minus 4 to this side, the value of x is equal to 4. So we have the values of x, okay? So for the value of y, right here, recall that y is equal to 7 minus x, this right here. So we have that y is equal to 7 minus x. To then get the value of y, input the value of x into this equation to get the respective values of y. So with this, we have y is equal to 7 minus x is 3, so 3, and this equals y is equal to 7 minus 3 is 4. Okay, good. Now, y for x equals to 4, also input the value of x as 4 into the equation. We have y is equal to 7 minus 4, and from this we have the value of y to equal 7 minus 4 is 3. So y equals to 3 and y equals to 4. Now the next thing is to report these answers in this form. So for x and y, for the first value of x and y, we have x as 3 and then y as 4. Y for the second value of x and y, x is 4, y is 3. Okay, but the goal is to solve for the value of n. So right here, recall that from this right here, we said let 4 raised to power n over 3 equals x, and 3 raised to power n over 3 equals y. So writing down these two equations, we have this. Writing it down here, we have that 4 raised to power n over 3, this is equal to x, and we have 3 raised to power n over 3, this equals y. So we're going to use this to solve for the value of n. Okay, from this we're going to make use of these first values of x and y, 3 and 4. So we have for the value of x and y, we have 4 raised to power n over 3, and this equals x is 3, and then we have 3 raised to power n over 3 equals y is 4. And now looking at these two right here, okay, bear in mind that the power of 3 here is 1, the power of 4 here is 1. So looking at these two equations, notice the base right here. The base here is 4, the base here is 3. The base here is 3, the base here is 4. So due to the different bases that we have right here, no integer can be formed. Okay, so there will be no integer that will be formed from this. So we're going to make use of the second value of x and y, which is this one right here, 4 and 3. So also we have this, that 4 raised to power n over 3 is equal to the value of x is 4. So write down 4, and y, the other one, 3 raised to power n over 3 equals the value of y is 3. So write down 3. And bear in mind that the power of 4 here is 1, the power of 3 here is 1. So since we have the same base, we can simply compare the exponents. Okay, compare the exponents. So for the first one, we have n over 3 is equal to 1. And for the second one, we have n over 3 is equal to 1. Now, if you solve these two, you will get the same answer. So from here, we have, if we solve n over 3 equals to 1, simply cross multiply, the value of n is equal to 3. And with this, we have gotten the final answer to the solution of n, that n is equal to 3. The next thing is to verify. So verify if the solution of n as 3 is the correct solution. Now the question, which is 4 raised to power n plus 3 raised to power n equals 91. From here, 4 raised to power n is now 3 plus 3 raised to power n is 3 equals 91. And from here, the value of 4 raised to power 3, this equals 64, plus 3 raised to power 3 is 27 equals 91. 64 plus 27 is 91, which equals 91. And since they're equal to each other, this means that the value of n that we got as 3 is the correct solution for the given question. So with this, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Do also like this video, subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching. God bless you.